The Battle of Saratoga convinced the French that the Americans can defeat the British. All they need is a little help. This is therefore going to begin the second phase of the American Revolution, where the United States fights alongside its French allies. Now, the alliance between the French and the Americans, it doesn't imply that the French were not helping out at all before this. In fact, since 1776, the French were already involved. King Louis XVI was secretly sending aid to the Americans before the Declaration of Independence in May of 1776. And Benjamin Franklin and other American diplomats were in Paris negotiating French support for their cause. Now, Parliament knew about the American attempts to get the French involved, and the last thing they wanted is to have their archenemy involved in this war. So they tried to get the war to end by giving the Americans everything they wanted, including the exclusive right to tax themselves. But the efforts are going to fail because the news of the French alliance is going to arrive before Britain's intention for peace. And so on February 6th, 1778, the United States and the French are going to conclude an alliance that's going to last for decades. It's a commercial and trading alliance. Commercial and military alliance. Trading terms between the United States and France, including a promise that once the French are able to defeat the British, they are not going to go and try to get back their territory that they had lost during the French and Indian War. The French are also going to convince the Spanish to come into the side of the Americans in 1779. And this is going to help negate the British naval advantage and the fact that you have the British fleet now facing not just the French fleet, but the Spanish fleet at the same time. The efforts of this war of the alliance are going to be felt quickly. For example, the Americans are going to expect a quick victory. It doesn't happen. The war is going to continue on for a few years. But nonetheless, the fear of a French invasion across the English Channel is going to require a repositioning of British resources to protect the home islands from a potential attack. There's one thing that makes the British scared and nervous is going to be the potential for a cross-channel invasion. We see that with the American Revolution. We'll see it again with Napoleon. We'll see it again with Hitler. It's a constant theme. But nonetheless, basically what happens in the course of all of the French alliance is the fact that other nations are going to come in. They're going to try and help out. Then, in fact, Russia's Catherine the Great is going to create a League of Armed Neutrality in order to protect neutral shipping from the British Navy intercepting any sort of contraband. And the result of which is that anytime the British are going to come up against one of these member nations, they're eventually going to declare war, to the point that the British are isolated in diplomatic circles of Europe. So it's mainly a disaster once the war expands beyond just the United States and Britain.